Hello everyone, I am Shivam Kumar and I am a TechBee scholar of FS Java Batch 8. So in this video, I am going to explain the concept of threads and I will try to cover more important point of threads in this short video. So first, let's see the contents part that what we are going to learn here. So we are going to learn here. First of all, we will see threads in the operating system. After that, we will see multi-threading and the multi-processing. After that, life cycle of threads, and after that, we will see that how can we create and start a thread in Java with example. And after that, we will see the ebox problem, one ebox problem, so that our concepts will be more clear. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first of all, let's see the definition of a thread. That what is thread? So a thread definition says that a thread is a lightweight sub-process, the smallest unit of processing. It means that it is something like a sub-process which is having some task to complete. You can say a set of statements execution takes place by thread for some specific task by the user. And now let's see the benefits of threads, that why we use threads in Java or in the operating system, why these threads are given. So threads allows a program to operate more efficiently by doing multiple things at the same time. So it is saying that a thread allows any program to perform multiple tasks at the same time. We can perform multiple tasks at the same time. So this is a benefit of a thread. So for better understanding the threads concept, first of all, let's see some of the operating system concepts. As you all know that our operating system provides us multitasking feature, that is we can perform multiple tasks at the same time. This multitasking works due to these threads only by achieving the multi-threading. So guys, first of all, let's understand multi-threading, multitasking and the multiprocessing in the operating system. So we will understand this with some of the figures. As you can see on the screen, there are some figures which I have drawn on the screen for you so that better understanding will be there. So guys, as you can see on screen, there are basically three processes and they are running at the same time. That is this one, VLC media player, one editor and a browser. And let's take an example of VLC media player. There are four threads, T1, T2, T3, T4, and suppose that audio is playing by T1 thread named as T1 and video by T2 and controls of the video or audio by T3 and fast forward the video by T4 tag in the VLC media player. So in VLC there are four threads, T1, T2, T3 and T4 running at the same time to give a user a better experience, and by this our application is also working efficiently. In the similar way, in the editor also these four threads are running, and in the browser also four threads are running at the same time. So in all these applications multiple threads run at the same time for some specific tasks. As these all apps are running at the same time in our Windows application, as you can see my system, as you can take an example of my system also. I am doing a screen recording, my audio is being recorded, I am drawing this pen also, and somehow my Eclipse is also open. So this all is possible due to these threads only. We are working on different applications at the same time. And so these all are called as multi-threading because multiple threads are running at the same time. So we can say it as a multi-threading in the coding based language, but in the operating system based you can say it is a multi-processing because we are able to perform multiple tasks at the same time. So this is called multi-processing, or you can say whenever we do multiple tasks at the same time, then it is called the multitasking. So if I say these all three make a process, so it is not a wrong. So we can say a multi-processing in OS based. So I hope now it is clear now. So before going to next, let's summarize this. So you can say a thread is a small sub process with a set of instructions for any work given by a user, and if you work with multiple threads at the same time, then it is called a multi-threading. And if multiple processes running at the same time, then it is called multiprocessing. And if multiple tasks we are able to do, then we can say it as a multitasking. So this is all about this operating system concept of threads, multi-threading, multitasking and multiprocessing. So all right guys, now it's perfect. Now we have seen all these things. So guys, now let's see the life cycle of a thread. So guys, now let's see that when a thread is made and after creating, how many stages and phases of one thread pass and how it is terminated later on. So as you can see, there is a figure in the slide which I have drawn for you guys. So suppose that you have created an object of my thread class, then suddenly that class will move to the new phase. You can say it as a new state or new phase, and when you call the start method over there, then it will move to the runnable state. We can say runnable as a waiting state. Waiting means that the thread is active, we can, but it is not running. We can say runnable and the running as an active state because the thread is active in these both the stages. As you give the start method, the thread will be active and in the runnable state, but it is in the waiting in the queue because some other thread will be running at the same time in the running state and the processor is not free. Then at this time, the thread scheduler comes in the light. So thread scheduler, what we will do? So the thread scheduler will not schedule the work of this task until the processor is free. It will be in the waiting state, and whenever it gets chance or the processor gets free, then it will move to the running state. And whenever it comes to the running phase, then it is doing his task, that run method task here in the running state. And suppose by chance you call the sleep, block on the input output or suspend or wait, then the thread will not wait here in the running phase. Then that thread will move to the blocked state, or you can say blocked state as a non-runnable state. Then the thread will not wait here in the running phase. Thread will move to the blocked state so that other threads can perform their task in this running state. Now the thread will wait here in the blocked state until you notify it or its time gets finished. So thread will wait here. And suppose the block thread got notify or its time finished or he got input from the user, then it will be again moved to the runnable state and wait here for its turn to get a chance. It will move to the runnable state. It will not move to this running state directly. It comes from running state, but it will not move to the running state. It will, after block, it will move to the runnable state and wait for here to get a chance. He will not directly move to running state. So guys, the threads wait in the blocked state and other threads will keep on running in the active state. And suppose the thread performing his task and thread performed his task, the run body executed, then it will move his whenever his run body will be executed, then that thread will move to the terminated state after completing the run body. Now the thread is over, and suppose your thread is running and you call this stop method, then the thread will be terminated directly. So guys, this is all about the life cycle of thread. As I have described you, I have explained you this in the figures. So guys, now let's see that how can we create a threads in Java. So for that we have basically two methods. First one is using the runnable interface, as it is an interface, so it is having an abstract method named as run. And the second one is by extending the thread class. So these both are present in java.lang package, so you don't need to add any of the external library here. So now let's see these two methods, and you can say Java has overridden the run method, and run method is very important because we write the task of thread in this run method. So suppose guys, let's suppose that I am having my this thread class which is in the yellow box, and I want to create a thread here in this my thread class. So how can we do that? Let's see this. So for that we have two methods. We can create a thread here by runnable interface by giving implements a runnable. We can create the thread here by this, or we have another method also. And suppose that I want to create a thread by this runnable interface. So for that we will use simply class my thread and implements runnable, and now I will get the run method because Java has overridden the run method to this runnable interface. Or we can go with other one, that is we can extend the thread class by inheritance, and we will get all the properties of thread class which is in java.lang package. And guys, in this thread class we have start method by which we can start our thread, but on our runnable interface we have only the run method. It doesn't have any start method. So All right guys, we have two methods. We can create thread here by this method, by this way, by interface runnable, or by this way, by extending the thread class. Finally, we have two methods. Either we can go with this or we can go with this. So all right guys, now let's do this in practical so that our concepts will be more clear. So let's move to the practical, and let's see one example of this. Guys, first of all, I will demonstrate creating a thread by extending from the thread class. As you can see, I have created this class, that is my thread and my thread 1, and I will use a thread here by extends keywords, as I am creating by inheritance. So I have given my thread extends thread, and I have extended this parent class from the library so that we can get properties, and in similar way in my thread class also I have extended this, and now I have simply given these loops and simply passed the SOP here in the same way in the both the classes. Now let's see our main class, and let's see what is in the main class. As here I have created the object of these both the classes, it is in simple way, and after that I have called the start method. I have called the start method to start the thread, as this method is available to our thread class which I have extended. So for by this I have extended the thread class here. So because of that I have got this start method. I have told you earlier that thread class is having the start method to start a thread. So all right guys, let's run this and see if our thread is working or not. Guys, as you can see here, we got our output, desired output, as and you can see here sometimes thread 1 is running and sometimes thread 2 is running, and this depends totally on our operating system. So as two threads are running at the same time, it means that it is a multi-threading. And guys, we have got our desired output here. Sometimes thread 1 is running and sometimes thread 2 is running. So now we have seen that how can we create a thread by extending the thread class. Now we will see that how can we do this by runnable interface. These both are in the same here. In the interface we have to simply give the this implements in place of extends. I have given to both the classes as implements runnable and implements runnable here also in my thread 0 class and in my thread class also. And after that I have simply given these two for loops here, and now I have created the object of the thread class here, which is present in the java.lang package, which I have done this. I have done this because I have told you earlier that this runnable interface don't have the start method. It has only overridden the run method. So without start method, how can we start our thread? So for that we have created the object of this thread class of java.lang package here, and this is an object of my class my thread, and this is an object of my thread 0 which I have created there. And we have simply passed this m1 as a parameter in this thread class and m2 in this class, and now we have started given the start method so that our thread will be started. So now let's see, run this and see that we are getting our desired output here or not. Guys, now I have got our desired output. You can see sometimes thread 1 is running and sometimes thread 2 is running. As you can see that this is multi-threading, we have multiple threads running at the same time. So if I say that which method is best to create a thread, so best is the runnable interface. Try to mostly prefer to the runnable interface, because here you can extend the class of another class, and also we will not get problem of multiple inheritance here. But in the whenever you create the thread from extending thread class method, you can't extend another class, as here maybe chances of multiple inheritance increases. So all right guys, now we have got this by example also. So now it's time to see the ebox problem here so that our concepts will be more clear. Now let's do this ebox problem here. So guys, as you can see, I have logged into my ebox and there are three problems given in first two para. It is describing about the multi-threading, and is in this para it is describing about that if multi-threading will not be there, then what problems we will face. After that it is saying to count the number of articles given in the line. This is saying that write a program to count number of articles present in the given line. And after that it is saying that create an article class, which is we have to use here that extends the thread class. We don't have to use here that runnable interface. and we have to simply take these two of the variables, that is string line and int count, and we have to create the appropriate getters and setters and the parameterized or the default constructor whatever we want. And in the article class we have to simply create this run method which will count the number of articles in the given line, and we after that it is saying that we have to create the main class where we have to take the input from the user and we have to compute the total number of articles which is given there. And after that it is given some sample input and output. You can see into the number of line 3 and the line 1, line 2 and line 3, and finally it is given output. There are 7 number of articles in the given input by the user. So this is, so guys, as you can see I have imported this in my Eclipse and I have this article class and this is my main class. So first of all let's see the article class. In this I have created these, I have taken these two variables string line and int count, and I have simply created these getters and setters here as mentioned in the question, and I have taken this default constructor here from the superclass, and this is simple. You can create this from the source, and from here you can create the getters and setters at two string or whatever you want, generate constructor from superclass or using fields. And after that in question it is mentioned that we have to create the run method. Here I have created the run method. This is the task which I am giving to the thread, that what the thread will do. So here I have used this regex.pattern and regex.matcher, and these regex.pattern, these two are present in the java.util. So I have imported this here. You can see java.util.regexmatcher or regex pattern, and I have simply given here pattern.compile and a and the, I have given these three articles which will match in the given line, and after that I have simply given the loop which will be increased one by one. So this is all about the article class. So let's see the main class. As here I have taken the scanner to take the input from the user, and I simply pass the SOP into the number of lines, and I have stored that user's input in the end, that how many lines user wants to enter, and I have in it taken this count variable and initialized it with 0. Here I will store that how many articles present in the given line, and after that I have simply passed this loop to n number of times, that how many times loop will run according to the user's value of n, and after that I have created the object of article class. After that I have simply started the thread here, and the thread will start here, and after that thread will store the values which will it get from this matcher and pattern.compile, and it will store this, that how many articles it will store this in this count variable. And after that I have simply passed this SOP that there are, I have concatenated this count, and it will show that there are, suppose there are 5, or say there are 5 number of articles in the given line, there are count number of articles in the given input. So I have done this problem. So my code is ready. Now let's run this and see the output, that we are getting our desired output or not. So as you can see I have saved this and we have got this here. This is the same code which I have got this here in this ebox. You can see this is the same code, and this is my article class and this is my main class. You can see the same code. So guys, now I have done this. This is the same problem. Now let's run this into number of lines 2 and into line 1 a and the, and now into line 2 we will give sk, after press enter. So it is showing that there are 3 number of articles present in the given input. So guys, we have got our desired output here. So let's validate this. It is validating. So guys, as you can see we have got our desired output and we are not getting any of the differences, and we have passed the test cases. So we have completed the ebox problem also. So guys, let's summarize this fast, that what we have learned so far. So firstly we have seen the threads in operating system, after that multi-threading, multitasking, multiprocessing, and after that we have seen the life cycle of a thread, and after that we have seen that how to create a threads in Java by one example, and after that we have seen the ebox problem, and there is some daemon threads left. You can say daemon threads as the servicing threads. So all right guys, we have done all these problems here and concepts of the threads in this short video with practical. So bye bye, thank you everyone for watching this video, and bye everyone and take care.